What's up, everybody? New year, same sponsors. We're talking about Elite Sports, the only apparel company that's got our merch squaring around. We're talking about ELETE sports.com. They got everything from squaring around. They also sponsor their own athletes. So if you're trying to get some custom merch for your family, you're looking for a good gift, shop EliteSports.com. Use code SQUARE at checkout to get a nice discount. Tell them the Square Boy sent you. What's up, man? Should you stop our collection too if you're trying to get like a squaring around hoodie, jacket, sweater, hat. We got all that. EliteSports.com. Use code SQUARE. One of the best things you can have is home field advantage. We have that same thing. Use code SQUARE at checkout. Homefield.com. You can shop everywhere. Not really Texas State, but I guarantee you, if you buy something and you bother them enough, like I've been doing in the off season, eventually, one day, like a phoenix, we shall rise. Homefield.com. Use code SQUARE at checkout.
Tired of winning the tailgate but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squaring Around with Jakob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
What's up, brother?
Hello, brother.
Hello,
I love
brother.
the mustache.
Dude, thank you. Unfortunately, though, it is counting its days. Our beloved baseball team is in the stinker.
Yes, it is. Now, I made fun of you yesterday for the beard. I do think that you shaved it a little bit here with the scraggle. No.
You know what? Because I knew you were going to say this. I knew if I showed up shaved, you had been like, good boy.
I think.
Plus, we're talking to like two athletes today, and I was like, am I going to be all pretty boy Jakey when I talk to one Texas State athlete and then my cousin and the next one?
Yeah. I saw the photo yesterday, the 4K photo that you sent me. Pretty straggly, pretty 5 o'clock shadow-ish. And I was like,
yes. Yeah, on Twitter.
I was like, this is
well, that was
else.
like my double chin, like, that just, look, I'm a confident person again. Look at that.
I know. All it took is going back to the Valley.
All it took, dude.
The amount of, I will say this, shout out to the people in the Valley, the 956. Jakob Rodriguez is your biggest op. If you're listening to this podcast, Jakob Rodriguez is your biggest op because there's not been one person on this planet who's hyped himself up more to me than Jakob going back to the Valley. The text, I think, was, I'm a Valley 15 was the text. So
if you're new to the podcast, I think I talked about this in season 1. First of all, shout out. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Welcome to Squaring Around. This is the show where we talk about everybody at Texas State. You can find us at Squaring Pod. But in season 1 of this show, I'm from McAllen, Texas, the Rio Grande Valley, having my 10-year high school reunion this year. Guess what?
Next year. Next year.
No, it's this fall.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because these guys.
Gotcha.
Redacted. These guys.
That's fine.
These guys redacted. Celebrate. The fall year, so the 2015,
16. Okay, got
2015 would be 10, but they want to do it because of homecoming. Ordinarily, it's done like
dumb. That's fine. You guys don't move across the country. You're all in the same area. I understand it.
But I've said that I'm a Valley 10. I've now upped it up. I'm a Valley 15 now on a scale of 1 to 10 of attractiveness. Of course, I'm talking about.
Texas State baseball was a Valley 0, losing to.
My personal 9-11 final score from UTRGV baseball ballpark, 9-11.
Yeah, no, that was tough. That was a tough one last night. I appreciate you giving us the live updates during the game. It was back and forth. You were excited. It was a good game. It was a great ballpark. It was not the outcome that we wanted.
Yeah. I fell apart on my tweets too as we were winning. I was getting so excited. A lot of Vaqueros started vacating. I'm going to say it now.
Really?
The Vaqueros started vacating once the Cats came back. But it was a little too late. Turns out they were just going to the beer stands. They came back. They were giving me the business the entire game, too.
Really?
For that ground rule double that Chase hit. By the way, it hit the top of one of those tents.
Bonilla deals, swing, and there's a towering fly ball to right center. Jenner and Warren converging in the gap, and that ball is one hop off the wall, or it's still a live ball, and nobody picks it up. Shibley rounding third, he's headed home, and he has himself an inside the park home run. I think they...
Is that out of the park? I feel like it is.
I guess not.
If the wall is right here, and then there's a tent, and then they hit the top of the tent and it bounces in, how is that a ground rule double?
It should have been a home run.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So we need to go back and look at that. Again,
this overweight dude to my right, barking up the wrong chain, Buster. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
The first thing I saw Evan, we'll talk about this later, but he daps me up and he was like, how do you feel? And I was like, he's like, you thought they were going to win, huh? You thought they were going to win?
No, Jacob was the first person that told me, he's like, I'm going down there. I'm seeing my sister, seeing my family. We're going to lose. And I was like, don't say that. Don't put that bad juju out there. I have been on a one-man campaign to be a less miserable sports fan. Jacob Rodriguez, on the other hand, he's taken all the misery out. He's sucked all my misery out. And now he's the miserable sports fan going to the Valley and being like, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. And, yeah, we did. You spoke it into existence. You bum.
Here we go. No, first of all, UTRGV is an amazing team. Again, we'll talk more about
good. Not amazing. Good.
They're great. They're the kings of the Southland. They won the Southland outright. They're going to win.
It's a good baseball program in an okay baseball conference.
They're going to whoop the dog s out of my beloved TAM-UCC Islanders. Shaka's up, bro.
Yeah.
Are you like? Does Jacob like every team in South Texas? The answer to that question is yes. Of course I do.
Same way that Andrew loves every team in North Texas.
I wonder why.
Wonder why that is.
Oh, also get this trending on our Twitter. Out on the Pac-12. The Southland will rise again. I would support Texas State dropping down in conferences than going to join that stupid conference.
That's incredible. That's a terrible take. I love it.
Hashtag the Southland. Use the parentheses on that one for sure. Will rise again. So
we're going to talk to Evan later, but Texas State baseball is over. Is it Overwatch?
If you're miserable, no. I mean, we're going to go to the tournament because we're going to beat up James Madison. They're terrible.
This weekend.
All of those guys are going to be PE teachers in the East somewhere.
In Virginia.
Virginia, hopefully. Yeah. They got to go to a couple football games in James Madison's really nice stadium. Congrats. Here's your degree. Out the door.
Get out.
You do not have a future in baseball.
So you're saying we go to the tournament?
Yeah, we're like 2 games away from being first place. That's not going to happen because everybody else is going to continue to win games. I project us to finish either like 4th or 5th. Yeah. Best case scenario, we're back in the tourney, top half conference team, just like I said.
I'll take that. I'll take a top half conference finish in regular season, and then I need them to win some games in the tournament because Texas softball really let me down. So I am very much like, you got to win. Can you win 2 games in the tournament? Can you win 2 just to like help me out here a little bit?
No, I agree. Also, if you're down in the dumpies, right? Softball let you down. Baseball's not helping much. Track and field, baby. By now, the stocks are up. We're talking to actually the #1 meet scorer, or I guess top point scorer. Is that
let's rephrase that. Let's rephrase that.
He won all of the points
at the last meet.
It's 23 points.
Not the meet scorer. That's not the way that we're going to phrase that.
Well, yeah, that's true, I guess, because she didn't score the meet.
That's a livestock judge. That's not a track athlete.
So how do you say it?
The highest scorer at the previous Sunbelt Conference Championship meet.
The highest scoring track athlete at the Sunbelt Conference Championship. There we go.
Yes. Yeah.
Took a while. Like a lawnmower over here.
We got there. Yeah.
So we're talking to Abigail Parra right now. Here's the podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Squarin Around. I'm Jakob Rodriguez. That's Andrew Zimmel, the Texas State Sports Press. And this week on the show, we're super happy to be joined by Abigail Parra, a.k.a. Abby.
I knew he was going to mess that up. I didn't mess it up.
I think that's a good
he didn't mess it up.
Yeah, exactly.
We go. All
But
right,
I
it's
was
Abby,
gonna
it's
ask you.
Abigail, it's Abby, it's Abigail, and then he's
I
like
was-
Abigail. All right.
well, I think it's
It's
weird to
more
like.
formal. You have to start
Yeah,
formal.
exactly. On
And
first
then introduce
reference.
me, and then we get friends,
Yeah.
and then it's Abby.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, because we're not friends yet. As you know,
He's
I
getting
told
bailed
you,
out.
Andrew, we're like, your friends are your friends, and then everybody
Uh-huh.
else is just some guy on the internet.
Yeah, Jacob's really been on this thing, Abby, where
About
he's like,
friendship. Yeah.
your friends, your friends. I don't know what he's going through in his like personal life. I don't know what like therapy he's doing here, but he's really on this. So we're happy to have you. Thanks for being our friend, coming on the pod.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
What,
course.
what's the worst thing somebody could call you, like as a nickname for an Abby? Because I feel like you don't have like that many avenues to get made fun of.
No, I don't really think I've had a nickname that's like made fun of me. I think in like middle school, I had my friends call me like Abby Cadabby, but like that's like not even funny. That's just like kind of cute.
That's a Sesame Street character. Yeah.
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 Yeah. No.
You want to know what Jacob's nickname for me is? They actually made an ice cream bar about it now.
What is it? Oh, I can't see it.
Fat
Oh,
boy.
yeah, it says Fat Boy.
Oh, well, that's
It's
not
tough.
nice.
When I was in middle school, or no, I think it was elementary school. Even worse. The kids are so mean, but they were like Jacob, more like makeup. And that like stuck for like 6 years. And it's not even a good one. Like there's a lot of things I think that you could make fun of me for, but I don't know.
Yeah, do you want to list them?
No, don't list them. But I was talking to my little brother who's in he's about to be a high schooler, but he's like a middle schooler, just like a dumb little kid. And he was telling me how like everybody in elementary, like you were so cool if you were the fastest kid around. Were you always very fast at what you do or no?
Yeah, I really was. I don't mean to like toot my own horn, but like that's just how I always was. Like in elementary school, we would have like a mile time trial or something like that just for like relay day. And I remember one time, the day before like field day, which is like my favorite time of the year because we gotta go do races. I fell off a slip and slide for my sister's birthday and I like really hurt my back and I couldn't breathe. Like I got the air knocked out of me. And the day after, I came back and I had field day, and my entire class was like, Abby, pick like the girls you want to race. Like you're gonna win. Like just pick whichever girls you want to race against. I'm like, okay, I'll race against these girls. And I lined up and I lost. And I started crying and bawling my eyes out.
Dang.
And my dad's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, my back hurts so bad. But I really only cried because I lost. So, because I wasn't used to losing. Like that just wasn't me in elementary school.
That's crazy.
So we have athletes come on the podcast all the time and talk about how like competitive they are and how insanely competitive are you? Would you say you're like pretty insanely competitive?
I'm only competitive in things that I'm good at. Like if I'm not very good at it, it's like I own that from the jump and I'm like, yeah, I can't do this, but like I'll try. But if I'm not good at it, I'm not going to try and be competitive in it.
Have you ever gotten into a competition not knowing you weren't going to be as good as you thought you were going to be at it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of normal. It happens all the time. So,
So what is give us an example of that?
I mean, honestly, it's something just like soccer. I thought I'd be good at it because I'm fast, and that was really the only reason why I was good at it. And then after a while, it's like, oh shoot, like everyone here is fast. So it's like I'm not the like after a while, you can only do it for so long.
Yeah.
That's what people do. The same thing with football, like some dual sport athletes are like, I'm
Yeah,
the fastest guy around. This should translate. How am I not the best quarterback? It's like, well, that's not really how that works. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be really good at spelling. Not the case. Not the case at all. I got into a spelling competition at one point when I was a kid. Was really bad at it, and I've given up since.
Dude, I thought marine biology was going to be my thing. Like every kid like gets obsessed with sharks. I was like, this is my thing. I'm in it. I didn't know how much science and math were involved in all of that. It was, takes a toll on you.
So talk about the
I was a
competitions
biology
this year.
major.
Oh, you're
Oh,
whoa.
I was a biology major. I
What are you
switched it
now?
because I'm a health science major. So I thought I would switch to try and avoid like the lab classes because I hated lab classes. No, I still have to take them. So
I feel like
that's tough.
in the majority of athletes like either kines or like health science or like I don't know,
yeah,
something like that.
nutrition, biology, I feel like those are all pretty basic ones.
Yeah.
I was going to say I think the entire football team has MBAs. I think all of them are business majors.
A few years ago, they were all like graduates of whatever too. They were like,
Yeah, get off campus. You're 25. Get a job.
but you're
So
like,
okay,
yeah, Abby, you're actually like a normal age for like a college
Yeah.
athlete.
Yeah. I all the COVID years and stuff like that happened while I was still in high school. So while I'm still competing against some people that I raced in high school, just have graduated, it's like they still have eligibility.
And if you
which is
didn't
good.
know,
I like that. I like having everybody kind of like back to normal, where you don't have
Mhm.
6 year seniors anymore. How'd the season go for you this year? What was like the thought process coming out of last year into this year?
I mean, I just really wanted to hit faster, better times. I feel like I ended the season last year and I was like, well, like I'm in the best shape of my life. And then I came back and I'm like, well, I'm in even better shape. So I was just excited to do it all over again and be a little bit like ahead as I was last year. And I'm just hoping that's the same thing for this upcoming year.
for all of you non-track heads like me that keep up with the track and field team, Abby just recently was the top meet scorer at the Sun Belt Conference Championship meet. You placed what or podiumed in 3 races or 4 events or
I ran 3 events and I podiumed in 2 of them. I got first and then second, and then for the 5K, I got fourth.
there you go. Yeah, like what Abby just said right now, everybody. But what do you
Can we
normally?
come up?
How many events do you do?
For usual normal track meets, I usually only do one or two. Like I'm not used to that, but since it was conference, they have you doing like prelims and finals. So I had like prelim for the 1500, then the next day I had prelim for the 800, and then the day after I had 1500, 800, and then 5K. So that's not usually how it is at other races. It's usually just one event and you're done. There's no prelims, no finals. Unless you're a sprinter, they don't really have that for the distance events.
We got to come up with a better name than Trackhead. That's the
I
big
think it's
takeaway.
funny.
We got to
No?
come up with an Abby. Do you have a better name for that?
No, I don't. I'm
Not
sorry.
a track fan. All right, we got to come up with something. We'll think. We'll think here
I feel like
because that's
it's so different culturally, like growing up and going to like track meets. Like I think like the
Mhm.
track and field families are like much different than like baseball dads. Like
yeah,
you're
probably a lot
ruining my
more.
life, son. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
probably a lot more centered. I
Yeah,
imagine there's not a lot of screaming from the parents after an event.
yeah. Well, I
definitely
mean,
not.
you're kind of giving your all like during the event. Once the kid runs the 100, you're like, well, we're
Yeah.
here for 9 seconds for this entire meet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 9 is kind of very generous, but
But I was gonna. So, did you have a lot of support, like in high school, and then through college? Like, did your family? Because I knew you're from the Central Texas area. Did you have a lot of family that come to the events and stuff?
Yeah, I do. My cousin also runs on the team, so it's really good to see like my aunts and my uncles, and not just like my parents and my sisters, but it's like my grandparents also, and just a lot of the extended family, just because it's so local and very convenient. And I run longer races, so it's like you're gonna come and you're gonna actually sit down for a little bit. So,
oh, who's your cousin?
his name's Anthony Parra. He's also on the distance team.
Oh, no way. Cool. I'm talking to my cousin later today. So this is funny that it's like a whole
Yeah, it's
family.
a familia episode.
Yeah,
Got everybody coming on.
my cousin plays for UTRGV, so he's gonna be the next person we talk to
What
too.
does he play?
He's a baseball player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. I don't
Yep.
think I know anybody on UTRGV's track team. Not a chance. That's a long reach for me.
Yeah.
In terms of like Sunbelt cities, because I'm sure you've gotten to see like a lot of them, because you've been on the team for 3 years now. Harrisonburg,
Mhm.
Virginia. Where does that rank for you?
Okay. I actually really liked Harrisonburg. I don't know. I enjoyed the weather. It was kind of like dramatic for me to come from like 70-degree weather, like the high being like 75, and then now today the high is going to be 102. It's like I don't like that huge jump. I don't like sweating. So it's just like I don't like that.
Hold
That's
on.
really nasty.
30 seconds. So you don't like sweating and you're in track? How's that work?
Yeah. It's I only really sweat if it's like humid and yucky and it like sticks. But like I mean, I feel like a lot of my races aren't really like that.
So the indoor season's your element. You're ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna sweat, of course, but it's not like sticking onto me like outdoors, if that makes sense.
Well, right now it's like miserable, but this is like
Yeah,
when champions run in this time of the year. You
I
missed your
guess so. But I
graduation.
mean,
You're like, ooh,
yeah.
No, don't give him that. This is not. Don't let him say
Okay.
this is when champions run. That's crazy. People who are running outside today at 106 temps are insane people. They're people who got out of the psych ward. That's crazy. It's hot. And you don't want to be out
Yeah.
there in that.
Yeah, I just finished my workout this morning, so I'm pretty
And,
glad I got it out of the
it's probably
way.
like 80 degrees when you were doing that this morning.
No, it was like 75, and I'm like, this is crazy.
there was like a report that came out this week that was like South Texas, but they include like San Antonio in South Texas, which is always like a gripe of mine. But
Salute,
South
salute.
Texas is supposed to be like hotter than the Saharan desert, you know? So I don't know. That's insane.
Yeah, it really is crazy. I mean, I grew up in Texas my entire life, so I didn't really get a chance to explore like other weathers or like know what it's like to like have like an actual winter, really. So traveling a lot, it's like when people actually experience nice weathers. So
Yeah, 4 seasons. Other people have them. It's not just a hotel chain. That's crazy.
yeah.
That's you know, I like Virginia. Are there any other places that you enjoyed as you like toured around the Sun Belt?
I really liked Virginia and I also liked Arkansas. I toured there for the some not Sunbelt, it was regionals meet, but yeah.
That's cool. And coming out of high school, did you get any Sun Belt offers, or was Texas State like the place you were going to go?
Texas State was the place I was gonna go. I mean, I didn't really look too big into the Sun Belt. I reached out to Texas State and I was just like, hey, like I want to tour the campus. I always told myself I wasn't gonna stay around or be local because like I mean almost everyone from my high school came to Texas State. But
Shout out.
after visiting the campus, I was like, you know what, this isn't too bad. Like so
A glowing review of
I
our
know.
proud
You know what?
university.
now I love it. Like now since I visit other campuses, because I didn't really get a chance to visit a lot of campuses. So now since I visit more, I'm like, no, I really do like our campus. Like there's actual stuff, like you can walk everywhere. Like you don't have to worry about like driving. Like College Station, that sucks. Like that's horrible. I don't like the huge, ugly buildings driving around. Like, no, that's not ideal. I like the floral stuff going around on campus and how they usually keep up the yard work. So
Clip this so I can send it to my A&M family. This is great. I was just there for graduation. My brother just graduated this past weekend, and I drove into town. I was like, "This looks like a mistake. This looks like somebody sneezed on a map and was like, let's build a city here. It's awful. I hate that place. They got giant. They have giant freeways. I'm like, nobody wants to be here. This build the freeways leaving town, not coming into it. This is the worst.
yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. This is great.
It's always bothered me how beige that place is. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's no color. Like, what's going on here? Like, I
Now hold
thought
on,
college was
folks.
supposed to
Now
be a
hold on,
happy
hold on,
place.
hold on.
What? No.
No, like color of the buildings.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
That's I know that's what you meant,
Well, because
Abby. I don't know
the people there are
Okay.
white. They're not
Yeah.
beige. So it's okay. I'll make that joke.
I knew where Jacob was coming from. He was like, too many white people, which is fair. It's a
But
fair point.
But truly though, because I went to Texas State, I freak out in like big cities without a lot of green space now. Like I need
Yeah.
that. Like and even just like a park or like a bench with a tree next to it. Like I need that at least. I don't know.
Yeah,
It centers
no, that
me.
makes sense.
So he's not moving to Houston anytime soon. That's what he's telling us.
Houston, San Antonio, anything like that. San Antonio's crazy.
San Antonio's pretty good. No?
No.
Dang.
No, no.
That's where me and Andrew both live. I mean, not right now. I mean,
Oh,
from my parents' house right now. This is my childhood bedroom that I'm talking from. But
Yeah, it's funny.
I can tell
That's
by
good.
the Woody in the back.
hey, leave him out of this.
Sorry.
That's good. So we were talking before the podcast started about nationals and regionals, everything. Explain to people how that how it works, because you could be really good in the Sun Belt, but you still might not make it to the next level. What is it? What does it all mean?
Yeah, so in the West region, they allow 48 individuals to advance from a specific event. So let's say for the 1500, it's just top 48 times. And the thing is, I can't even imagine being a sprinter because especially having such little like time differences between each other, it like really comes down to the like millisecond. So usually it's this top 48, but since I'm in the 1500, it's usually that middle distance where some people either really like it and it's their specialty or it's not their specialty at all and they'll end up scratching and trying to do a different event. So you just have to be top 48 to advance to regionals, and then from regionals you compete, and then you have regional finals, and then if you're top, I don't know what it is. I don't know what advanced from regionals to nationals, but in order to go to nationals, you have to go to regionals first, and then usually get a top 48. But in my event, I usually have a lot of scratches, so who knows what the number will go to this year.
And when do you find out? Is this like something we're finding out this week, next week?
No, it's definitely next week. It's a lot more like right before kind of thing. So you just have to train and hope for the best that you'll be able to go.
So you're still training, thinking to yourself, I'm going to regionals. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
What event do you think you have the best shot at going right now?
Definitely the 1500. I mean, I PR'd in the 800 at conference, which is kind of a shock because I mean, after my legs are super tired, it's like I just came back and I ran that. But maybe I'll be able to get a regional qualifier for the 800. But I think personally, for me, I'd enjoy and have a better chance of advancing in the 1500. So
Okay. There you go. Isn't it funny how that works sometimes? That like, hey, I advanced in the 1800 or 800, and it's like, hey, my legs were tired. Think how good I'd feel if I was fresh. Like,
yeah, literally.
there
That's
you
why
go.
she had to do it in Virginia. She was like, I'm not sweating. I feel great. This is who
Hmm.
we are.
Yeah.
Do you think you could have done that anywhere else? Like if you guys had hosted the SBC championship or no?
I think I would have gotten it done, but I don't think I would have enjoyed myself as much. I probably would have been a lot more like, I don't know, disgusted. I would have been like, I'm tired of this. So, but I
You,
enjoyed my time in Virginia.
have we when's the last time we hosted?
Oh, I have no clue. I really don't
I
know.
think Jacob, I want to say we hosted one time when we were at school.
I want to say it was like 2018 or 19, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So they made a very
Because
big deal of it, and I was out at track like for 6 hours one day before I was like, I'm going home. I'm not gonna watch the last races. It's a very big commitment, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze there.
No.
Well, look, I get it.
If you're a photographer, you can get a bunch of stuff like all day. Like if you go to one meet
Hmm.
that they host, you're set for the entire season basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's like
As
sitting through a
somebody,
timeshare presentation because there's some races that are like super fun and like events that are super fun. Well, I guess they all are to me because I'm a trackhead, you know, super
I
fun.
think if I could gamble on it, I think if there was a way to like bet money, we shouldn't say this. Probably should cut this part out of the
What the
pod.
heck?
If there's a way to gamble on college like track, I think I would do it, and I think that would make it more interesting because it'd be like going to the horse races, right? But like, I'm not all that into watching like the prelims of like the 100 meter. You know,
No, that
is
makes
that fair?
sense.
Okay.
No, that makes
A
sense.
lot
Yeah.
too. There's like might be 6 heats. I don't know. You know?
Yeah, it's like, and I feel like I'm an asshole saying that, but it's just I don't. That's not for me. You know,
No.
Yeah.
I
I went
don't.
to California this past season and I raced the 1500 there. It was really nice. I mean, but we haven't gone there for the Sun Belt because I don't think we have any schools from
No,
California. But
yet.
yeah, hopefully we'll get some in there. But I ended up racing the 1500 and there was, I kid you not, probably over 50 heats of just the 1500 for the girls.
See, now
That's
let
how
me
you
ask
lose
you:
Andrew. You know?
did you have a good time with that? Was that fun for you as like a competitor?
I think it was a lot of fun because I've never been in an environment with so many distance runners. It's usually like I'm in an environment where there's more sprinters or more jumpers or
Yeah.
like, but Brian Clay specifically is like a distance meet. So they had like pace lights and they had pacers. So I mean, I've never had that kind of environment. It was like, it was a lot, but it was exciting. So.
I make that joke because I don't know if you're in the bubble of like, hey, I'm focusing on my sport, I'm focusing on my classes, I'm not listening to everything outside of that. But there's been a lot of conversation about us going to the Pac-12, which would mean we would go West Coast to face off against teams in the Southwest and on the coastline. I personally don't think it's going to happen, but if you like California, hey, we might be going out there pretty soon.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. I mean, I don't really, I don't, mm, I don't really care what conference we're in. Like, I just want to compete. I'm just focusing on like what I'm doing and, but
That's
yeah, I
great.
mean, it'd be exciting to switch it up and do something different.
Well, because
How's
track you
your
can kind of like compare, you know, like you have like times and stuff that you're posting anyway, like whether you're in conference at a meet or you're at a non-conference meet. So you're seeing these
Yeah.
times like neck and neck against other people in other conferences all the time anyway. So
Hmm.
I don't know. That's why it's kind of the ultimate equalizer in terms of like athletic achievement, I think. No?
And I
No,
don't really
Andrew.
get a chance
No,
to like,
Andrew, what the heck?
I want to hear Abby's answer.
I was just gonna say I don't really get a chance to compete against girls in my conference until it's actually conference time, just because they're like different. They're from all different areas of the nation, so I don't really compete against them personally until it's about that time at conference. So.
That's fair. That's a good point. I like that. I don't know. The ultimate equalizer track, I guess. I don't. I
It's one of the
guess
first programs that any athletic department across the country will start because it's relatively inexpensive to start. So everybody can do it for the most part. And all you need is one freak athlete to stand out. Kind of like Charles Austin back in the day.
Have you ever met Charles Austin, Abby?
I've been in the same room as him. I haven't personally gone up to talk to him.
You
I just
should.
feel
Next
like,
time you have a chance, go talk to Charles Austin. That man is a psychopath. He is as competitive as any person ever put on this God's earth. It's crazy.
yeah, he's
He,
too cool.
Yeah,
yeah, no,
he has aura, bro. He's insane. It's
he
amazing.
does. He does have aura. I will give him. I will give him that. He was not having it with us. He was not having a. We were trying to give him some grief. He was not having it. He was very locked in.
Oh.
So I respect it. I mean, I get it. But
Number one non-grief haver on the podcast, Charles Austin.
no, like I will say I think I had fun with him. I think Jacob had a really good time. That was like his white whale to like get, right?
It took me 4 months to get that interview.
I don't think Charles had a great time. And
Aw.
I feel bad about that because I hope I want him to come on again. But I don't know what we would talk about.
No, I need to do the next time we interview him. I want to do it at his place, like his training center, and do the whole shebang there. It would be awesome.
Y'all should do one of those videos where it's like they walk around the celebrities like house and ask them questions while they're like walking around.
He wouldn't do
You
that
know?
with
He
us.
would get
do
No?
that
through
with
Okay,
us.
three
good.
questions max before he kicks us out.
Kick this out. Yeah. So how long did it take? So how long did it take you to make your bed this morning? Get out of my house.
Get out of my
'Cause
house.
That's his.
So what are we doing here? It's like a rhetorical question. Get out of my house.
Aw.
What did you have any role models on the team when you came in as a freshman?
Yeah, I mean a lot of them, they all graduated already, but Cedrica Wynn was a huge one. She did really good. She would always do really good at all her meets. Just going back to back to back to back, just rolling through events. And I'm like, you're literally crazy. Like that's insane. Like, are you okay? But she was always really excited and in a good mood and super happy. And that's just how I strive to be now. So
That's good. Do you have anybody you're taking under your wing? Somebody like a younger person on the team that you enjoy hanging out with?
yeah, I'd like to say I don't want to say the entire team, but we have this one freshman. Her name's Naomi Garcia. She's a freshman, so she'll be a sophomore next year, and she's really talented. So it's really exciting to watch her grow and just be able to train with her and just like kind of push each other. So
We had a
That's fun.
Chris Preddy on when he was a freshman, and now he's like still amazing. It's insane to
Yeah.
see how consistent he's been.
definitely.
I
He
think
was really excited to come on the podcast. That was one where I was like, all right, maybe we're doing something.
we started this podcast like 3 years ago, and so yeah, now he's a junior. It's insane to think about. Life is moving, Andrew, and we're still doing this podcast.
Yeah. They keep getting older. I stay the same age pretty much. It's
Pretty much.
doing the pod.
It keeps y'all young. So
Yeah. That is true. That is true. Keeps us connected to the youth of America.
Mhm.
How's I don't even know. I was at TXST just a couple weeks ago, and things haven't really changed all that much since we left. But I don't know. I got no other questions. I just want to hang out now. That's it.
okay.
I've done all my journalism for the day.
We talked
Yeah,
about
you're
like
good.
old
That's
man
good.
moments. Abby, is there any like event that you used to do in either high school or maybe you thought about doing at the collegiate level that you're like, I could never do that now. Never mind.
No. Well, in high school, thought I wanted to do steeple, but I just can't jump a barrier to save my life. So
Mm.
I guess it's because I'm old. Maybe. I don't know. It's not for me.
This is why I love talking to track people because they're just insane. I think it's amazing. You run,
Yeah,
don't you run like the DMR too, or no?
I ran the DMR, yeah. I ran the mile of it. So it starts with like um three laps of 3 laps, not of the indoor track, it's 6 laps of the indoor track, but 3 laps, and then I think it goes into the 800 and then the 400, and then it ends with the mile. So
No.
damn.
In high school, I ran the DMR, the 400 leg of the DMR. That was fun. So that's
how'd it go?
that
What'd you
event is
split?
special.
There you go. Yeah, ask the real questions. Ask the real questions, Abby.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I think the best 400 I ever ran is like 53, maybe 52. So
No, it
horrible?
had to be faster than that.
I don't think so.
There's no way.
I tore my groin my senior year too. So,
That's excuses.
Ouch.
Okay.
no,
That's like me.
You hear that? That's the excuse train pulling in.
Yeah, no kidding. Golly. I tore my groin, so at my peak, I couldn't do it.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
that's fair. No, because I was gonna say I think my fastest ever was like a 63 or 65 or something, like in high school. So there's no way you did 10
Did you ever
seconds shorter than mine.
did you ever do the
I'm
Fat Man
slow as
relay?
hell. No, I refuse to do that. I thought it
You
was
ever did the
so
Fat Man
degrading
relay?
towards the
That's like
obese.
it's like one of the
The
best
ob-
events in all of track.
Nah, I hated that because they always would try to put me in that group. Because I was a baseball player and they'd make us do track, right? And they always were like, oh, do shot put, do discus. I was like, listen, this arm is going to make me a millionaire, baby. We cannot hurt this shit.
Then
Like, we can't.
the next year,
And
his
then
dad
the
threw out
next
his
year, I blew
shoulder.
my shoulder out. Yeah. So honestly, maybe all those discus hurls and shot puts that they were making me do could have done something. Anyway, but they always would have those guys run like the 400 or run the Fat Man relay or whatever. And I was always like, you guys don't understand. I'm an athlete. These guys are football players who are eating their way into an early grave. Like, what? We're not the same here. Like, don't put me in this group.
I thought athletes are people who can do multiple sports, though.
I am not throwing the shot put. I was from a small school. I don't think they taught it right either. I could do other sports, but baseball was my main thing, and I do think that the shot put and discus did mess up my shoulder. If we're really doing some digging in here, it's not a good time.
Again, I'm circling back to this major point I have that track and field is the ultimate equalizer. How good is your athletics department? How good is your track and field team? I counter.
Solid point.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. We do have a good track and field team at Texas State, and Abby is one
They're
of those
amazing.
players or one of those
Yeah.
runners that's making it happen. So applause for that. There we go. We can come on to solid ground on that.
I don't know.
Imagine Jacob applauding.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
good call.
I brought this whole thing up.
Call him out.
I've been screaming from the rooftops that
Number one track fan on the pod, Andrew Zimmel. Let's get
track
it.
and field supremacy. No, what do you mean?
Start the conversation.
Charles Austin Drive. I don't see anything named after football players over here. I'm just saying.
That is true. That is true.
I did used to say that the football team was cursed though, because we did give the GOAT Charles Austin like the worst street in all of San Marcos. But I've come full circle on that take again, because it's no longer super congested with traffic.
Abby, you don't know this, but Jacob wrote an opinion piece back when we were in college about how we should tar over the football stadium and make another parking lot. That I was like, damn, Jacob, that's a tough opinion. He's like, nope, we need more parking. So
Listen, back in the
We do
day,
need more parking.
2016 to even
23?
2 years ago, like honestly, we weren't that good.
we do need more parking. That's your plea.
Yeah.
Get more parking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Still to this day, yeah.
I agree.
I mean,
That's
like
the
the
one.
freshman dorms, they like cause it to where now you have to pay to park in some of the areas that used to just be for the freshmen. And now they're like, nope, if you want to park here, you have to pay.
Damn.
That's tough. Because you know what's crazy too is they actually built a journalism building in the middle of another parking lot. So that's hashtag our fault. Sorry.
Yeah, they're trying to make us more like UTSA, where it's like get a bus, like go park
Oh,
way and then take a bus in. And I don't want that. I like parking on campus.
Don't
like
oyster
having-
my Texas State.
Dead ass. No kidding. Yeah, I don't know. We do need more parking. They refuse to build like parking garages. That's what I never understood. Like, you don't need a lot of space to build a parking garage. Just build it up.
yeah.
You know?
Well, you said, Abby, when you first got to Texas State, you were like, this is all right. What did you think could change?
No, I didn't say
That's
it
what
was
you
all right.
said.
That was on my visit. When I was like visiting, I'm like, yeah, I can make do with this. That's what I was thinking.
Damn, I could make do.
That's because it's like I never visited the campus. I didn't know what Texas State looked like. I just lived in the area and I drive past and I wouldn't think much because it was just something that I'd see so constantly and casually. So whenever I actually got a chance to like walk on campus, I'm like, yeah, no, like this is a lot better than I thought it'd be.
That was our Mecca. That was like Jacob and I were praying to the east, praying towards the San Marcos River.
I'm rebranding this as Abby's agent. Rebranding as this is the best hidden secret in the hill country.
No, it definitely is. Like, what other campuses have the river like we do?
That's true. None of them.
We had a student athlete come on the show though, not saying names, but you guys could do your homework and say, I think they talked about the river a little too much on my visit here. What do you think? When you came, did they talk about the river enough, not enough, or too much?
They didn't talk about the river enough, like at all. But it's also because I was local, so I think the coach that was recruiting me or that like toured me was like, you probably already heard this kind of thing.
Oh wow. It's like you've already heard about our number one hit single, so let's play a deep cut.
Yeah,
Do you know you get free ice cream at the at Jones? You're like, oh no, that's crazy.
You know we have
I
Panda
didn't even know
Express on campus. What?
You know
Like,
what? Panda Express. That's crazy.
that.
I remember when they opened that in Jones and everybody lost their mind. Remember that?
I do. That yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
No.
Not good.
Oh, okay.
No.
Sorry, Abby. Jeez. Back when they invented
Sorry.
Panda Express,
Uh-huh.
the panda was there from Panda Express.
That's crazy. Abby, is there anything we're missing? What else could you tell us? Getting us excited for regionals.
I don't know. Like I could tell you a lot of things, but I don't really like I have no direction where to go with this. Like
Oh, give us an insane track quote because we love
That's good.
hearing about insane things. What goes through your mind as you're either about to cross the line or like when you're lining up right before the race starts?
nothing really goes through my mind. I feel like that's one of my worst habits is that I tend to fall asleep during my races. Like my mind just completely shuts off and I'm just moving. Like I'm not thinking of anything until like I hear my coach yelling at me. Like I feel like I zone out everything and I can just hear him yelling at me. Like I think my mind knows to search for his voice. Whenever I hear it, I'm like, let me tune in and listen. And then I'll wake up and then I'll listen to what he has to say. I'll either act on it because I'm not tired or I'll be like, no, that's too much. Like I'm exhausted. And then I'll just keep going kind of thing.
Is it therapeutic for you to run?
Depends. It was kind of therapeutic for me to run the 5K after running such short, fast races. It was therapeutic the first 2 miles and the last mile, like the wheels completely fell off. But yeah,
There you go.
it happens.
Yeah, wheels be doing that. They be falling off.
Hmm.
If the wheels fall off and you get fourth place, it's pretty good wheels.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day too, though, because you were talking about like um, having to like hear like your coaches, Like, what if your coach like had a bad voice, like not really like built for
Mm.
that? Because I go to jujitsu in San Antonio, and my coach is a very chill guy, the chillest guy you've ever met. His voice is a little softer, so he has
Hmm.
this girl that's right next to him, very shrill voice, very sharp. You can hear everything she says from a mile away.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's handy, but
Yeah. I think it's also just one of those things where when it's at practice, he's constantly the only one I'm hearing like yell at me like for splits. So that's why it's like so easy for me to like, I guess, tune it in because I'm used to it.
That makes sense. I just was thinking about how funny it would be if he had a bad voice. It's like, yeah, great coaching philosophy. He does everything the right way. He just has a really bad voice. You're like, that's tough. That's what separates the good from the great.
well, because you
It's the coach
constantly
voice.
hear these people's voices in your head. Like I can
You
hear
get
my
used to it after a while.
yeah, and
Yeah,
like
If it was a bad voice, I feel like it wouldn't be bad
wouldn't
for
matter.
very long. You'd probably laugh at it at first for a little bit, but then after a while, you're like, oh, this is normal.
it's like in my head, I can hear my coach from high school and my dad the most. And I can hear my coach from high school always would say, "Move your feet, don't stop striding." Like I would just hear like everything, like negative thing I was doing, and that's what I try to focus on now. But I don't know, your mind goes completely blank. That's crazy. But you already know what to
Yeah.
do. You're so good.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I feel like I constantly tell myself is stay attached because once you build that like huge gap, it's like you're working by yourself. So that's just one thing that I have to constantly remind myself, stay attached. But I really don't try to think too much in on it because then I feel like my mind starts to run and then I tire myself out, I guess, if that makes sense.
Are
So
you
when you
good?
say stay attached, you're talking to stay attached to the group.
Yeah, like if I'm like working off of somebody else, I just have to constantly tell myself stay attached so that I don't like cause myself to have to work more at the very end to try and catch up.
Gotcha.
Are you good at like leading or no? Because I freak out if I have to lead the pack. Led the
See,
pack, local 5K in Helotes. Don't want to brag, but I fell apart at the end of the race because I just couldn't lead.
I'm convinced that he likes track people on the podcast. I've been formulating this take for a minute so that he can do this.
he just
I'm
wants to brag
convinced.
the fact that he won that
Yeah,
You have
5K.
I
local
think that's
5Ks.
it.
No, I
Yeah.
won fourth place actually.
Oh, okay.
Missed a medal, didn't medal.
It's okay. I thought they give like medals out to like top for like age groups and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, but I didn't even get that one. I think I was fourth in my
Oh.
age group, and now I'm like an old man age group almost now. I'm
No,
27.
you're not. Are you stupid? What's going
But
on
like
here?
I'm just saying, like it starts
I got
dropping off.
60-year-olds running those things. Like,
I
what's
know.
going on?
I was like, Mima, watch out.
So now, all right. So the question was, I guess, do you have a trouble leading the pack?
Yeah.
Sorry, I derailed this.
No,
Had to
you're
point
good.
that out.
It depends. I feel like if it, I if it's a race that I know that I'm not as like disciplined in, like for the 5K, I'm not going to go out and try and lead it because I know I'm going to end up getting myself tired out because as a miler, I'm going to try and go faster than I probably should. But for the 1500, it just honestly depends who I'm racing against. If it's like against girls who are like just as fast as me, I'm definitely going to just let them take it out because they're probably going to end up going fast anyways. But if it's against a field that I feel more confident that I can like end up winning and getting first, I'm just gonna run what feels most natural to me, which is probably just taking it out on my own. So it just depends who I'm competing against. I don't mind leading, and I'm not really scared of it, but I'd rather not lead. I'm more of a like sit and kick.
Okay.
Do you feel like the mile is like the perfect race?
I want to say, yeah, I think
Like
it
you have to
is.
run like perfect in order to like win it, you know? Like every facet of it, or because you can't make very many
Well,
mistakes, right?
yeah, I feel it's a longer race, so you if you do make a mistake, you have time to like kind of make up for it. But the way to run every mile is going to be different depending against like who you're running against, what the weather conditions are, and like where you're running at. So you can race it perfectly one day and then come back the next week and try and race it the same, and it's not going to have the same outcome.
My favorite thing now is to watch like the lights, like the green, blue, like pacing lights.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was never good enough to run in a stadium like that, but now it looks like raves, like some of these like championship races, and then they bring out
See,
like
that's what they
light
had at
racers.
California. They had the pace lights.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, because it follows the length of the track, and you're like, ooh, look at
mhm.
that, it's blue. That would get you, Andrew. I think you're a big lights guy.
I am a big lights guy. I do some lights. I'm okay with the lights. I like lights. That maybe I'm back in. I'm back in on track. I'll sit through. I'll sit through 6 heats of to watch the light show. I'm
And then you're
down.
like,
Yeah.
oh, oh, now it's green.
The orange
Now
this
it's
time.
green.
Ah,
So that's pretty cool. I like that. I don't know. A lot of people are getting into running, you know, casual runners, people who are just like
hmm
has-beens like myself getting back into running. Do you have any advice
Hobby
to,
joggers.
yeah, hobby joggers? Do you have any advice to like the general public on running?
Yeah. Just stay consistent. I mean, that's really all it is. I feel like running's one of those sports where you can get better at it pretty easily as long as you stay consistent with it.
and when you're going slow, get to the right. Don't take up the entire lane.
Yeah.
There you go.
Be that Toyota Corolla in the leftmost lane,
And
right
no,
with the
do not.
Ferraris.
Do
No?
not. Do not do that. Get off the track. That is a lesson that we've been taught. Get off the track.
Well, Abby, it was wonderful talking to you. We're rooting for you over here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for
I'm
joining
rooting
us.
for a bunch of scratches. Let's do it. Let's get those
Yes.
people out of the way.
Eat them up, scratch them down. Shout out Abby again. Thank you for joining us. Many luck and good fortune towards your NCAA national appearance or
We're rooting against everybody else, Abby. We're Team Abby now. We're all in.
we're all Abby. All Abby'd out.
Yeah.
Do you remember when people were like really big into printing fat heads and like
Yeah, I had one.
I guess it's still the same thing. It's graduation season right now. A lot of people are doing that. No?
Yeah.
You had one?
My family didn't do that for my graduation, but they did print out like little baby heads. Actually, I think it might be the head that you have on your phone.
No
of me.
way.
And they had those at my graduation party, like little Andy heads all over the place, and then Jesse and then Ryan. So my mom has, I think, 3 big baby heads in her house somewhere.
Dude, speaking of your brother, congrats to Ryan Zimmel for graduating.
Yes, yeah, graduated Texas A&M with a business degree. So we had a good little lunch in College Station. Look, there's a lot of people out there. The service is awful. It's crazy how bad the cell service is in College Station.
Cell? Like cell phone?
Yeah, like cell phone service, like in those buildings.
I thought you were talking about like at a restaurant service.
No, we went. So the other thing is, there's not a lot of nice restaurants in College Station. I find.
No, Chimmy's
Um,
maybe.
Yeah, so the Dixie Chicken is where everybody we went to another bar and grill. Great food. But what was funny is it was like spillover from other people's like things, because like there was like a Hispanic family who was not there for graduation. They were just there to have like Sunday dinner or Saturday lunch or something.
At the
And then
Dixie
there's
Chicken?
another.
Oh,
No, this is a different bar and grill.
big Dixie Chicken fan over here.
I'm not. I think it's overrated.
Well, you know they got a snake in the back of it.
Yeah. Have you ever had the fried pickles?
No,
It's good. The fried pickles are good. The pitcher of beer
I'm
is
not
fine.
a big fried pickle guy.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so we had a good time with the family. Mother's Day was this weekend. You saw your mother. How was that?
I did see my mother. Yeah, my mom, for everybody at home, makes fun of me now. Has taught herself baseball analytics to make fun of me on the
Good.
podcast every week. She can't wait till this thing is off. You and I are
I don't
actually
think it looks
doing
that bad.
It looks amazing. Every man that sees me is like, "Oh my god, you're amazing, dude." Can I shake your hand?
Nah. Okay, let's
Shake
bring
your hand, son.
on the break on that. Pump the break on that. That's not happening.
It's true.
You look like a
First
you look
thing
like a caricature.
of what?
You put a
Mexican
cowboy hat
guy?
on this guy. Yeah, you put a cowboy hat on this guy, and he would look like a vaquero. I can't believe she called out Woody. Yeah, see, that's hello, Mr. Zimmel.
Hello, Mr. Zimmel. Yeah, I know she called out Woody. What the heck?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
First of all,
How much?
she said she couldn't see us, remember?
Yeah,
Then she goes, Woody. Abby, I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
how much sod do you need? That's what you look like.
How much mulch do you need, sir?
Yeah. So I like the mustache. I like it when you're clean shaven and it's just the mustache. But you know what? Who am I to ask for
Dude, you want to
how
see
you should look?
you want to see these Tacovas I just bought?
Yeah, you had nice ones.
Yeah, look at that.
That's a sweet boot. That's
Ostrich.
a woot. That's a Woody boot if I've ever seen one.
So when I say boots on the ground, I wasn't wearing them yesterday, but you know what boots are on the ground, brother.
Boots are on the ground, brother. Yeah. Good for you. What other Texas State news do we have? We got a transfer.
Really nothing, dude.
You got a transfer to be QB3.
Oh, no, dude. Holden Griner was already on the team.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Then why'd you send me that? I thought that was something new.
No, I was getting mad that dude was saying, like, watch out. No, I've already seen him. I'm very not convinced by Holden
Yeah,
Griner.
you're out.
I was big on Nate Yarnell. My Nate Yarnell stock, early investor.
Yeah,
Look how that panned
that's
out.
good. Yeah.
It's like being an early investor in Theranos.
I was gonna say, or Enron.
Enron. Dude.
Yeah.
Who's our Enron? Oh, Jaden DeLora. Enron for
Yeah,
Texas State.
yeah. Jade Delore was the Enron at Tech State. That's a good one. I'm not against that.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Anyway, so thank you, Abby. Tech State baseball. Don't shit the bed again. Win on against JMU, and then
If
listen
they
to the
lose
next.
against JMU, it's over. It's
Listen
over.
to the next episode where we have cousin Evan come on to talk about the Valley, to talk about baseball. And the reason we have him coming on is because we don't get to talk to Tech State athletes. So, Abby, thank you. Track, thank you. Where has been Texas State baseball? That's all I'm going to say. We had to go all the way to the opposing team to get a guy. Whatever, it's fine. Evan, we'll have a good time.
Also, we're going to talk about this soon, I guess, but basketball kind of on a heater for recruiting.
No. I'm out.
Thanks for squaring, everybody.
We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Better not come any closer.
Thanks for listening. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow the boys on Twitter. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.